In this video, we're going to look in more detail at strings in Python. And one thing that's important to know is we can extract portions of a string. And in order to do that, we have to be able to refer to which portion we want. So we can number the characters in a string. And Python actually gives you two ways of numbering. One is to go from left to right, starting from 0. So 0 would be the position of the first character, 1 is the position of the second, etc. And these position numbers are known as the index of the character. You can also go from right to left in Python. So the rightmost character has an index of -1, and we work our way backwards, and they become more negative. Okay, so what does that mean? It means for this particular string, Perry, the P, we could use either an index of 0 or -5 in order to refer to it. And for the y, we could use either 4 or -1. Given these index values, we can do a variety of things. We can extract a single character by just putting the index in brackets after the variable name for the string. So if we assign the string picobot to the variable name, then if I say name brackets 1, I'm going to get the character I, because remember we start with 0 for the index of the first. So the I is at position 1 in the string. If I do name brackets -3, I get the lowercase b. Here we're going from right to left. -1 is the T, -2 is the O, -3 is the B. Slicing lets me get a substring containing potentially more than one character, and here I'm giving two values in the brackets, and those two values are separated by a colon. The first index that I give tells me where to start the slice, the substring, so we call them slices in Python. The second index tells me where to end it, and my slice is going to go up to but not including the character at that end index. For example, if I go back to my string picobot that I've assigned to the variable name, if I say give me a slice from position 0 up to but not including position 2, I get the first two characters, the pi. I don't get the c, which is the character at position 2. Here I'm asking for the slice from position 1 up to but not including position -1. So notice what I get here. I'm starting at position 1, which is the I. I'm going up to but not including the character at position -1, which is the T. And so I get ecobo. I don't get the T. Now you can omit one or more of these two numbers. If I omit the end index, Python assumes I want to go all the way to the end of the string. If I omit the beginning index, Python assumes I want to start at the very beginning. So here, for example, I'm saying start at the very beginning, because I didn't put a number. Then I have my colon, and then I'm saying go up to but not including position 4. And so I end up with the first 4 characters. Some other operations I can do, I can use the plus operator. If both of my values are strings, I'm going to concatenate them together. So for example, let's assume that I assign the string literal program to the variable word. I could then use this expression here, using the plus operator, to concatenate the value of the variable word with the string s. And so what I'm going to end up with is programs, right? Because I took the value of word, it got replaced by its value, then I concatenated the string s, and that gave me programs. I can use the multiplication operator with a string to produce a new string that has that many copies of the original. So here I'm taking this string, I'm creating 3 copies of it, and I get a new string with those 3 copies concatenated together. I can also figure out the length of a string. So here I'm saying let Perry be assigned to the variable name, and then I'm saying what's the length of the string represented by that variable. So notice it's 5 because the value of name is the string Perry, and its length is 5. It has 5 characters. Now it's possible to have an empty string. which is a string with no characters at all. And that means there's nothing in between the quotes. So there's not even a space in there. And the length of an empty string is 0. Finally, it's possible for slices to include a third number, right? So after the start index and the end index, we can have what's called a stride length. And this gives us what's called skip slicing, because we're going to skip over characters. So let's assume that S has been assigned this string, Boston University Terriers. And to make things easier, I'm showing all of the index values when I number them from 0 into the positive numbers. I'm not showing the negative ones. We're just going to use these positive ones for now. And here's a possible slice. Okay, so I'm saying start at position 0, go up to but not including position 8. So that leads me to focus on that much of the string from Boston up to U, right? From B up to U. But then I'm not going to get that whole thing because the third number here says I want my stride length to be 2. And so I'm going to end up skipping and getting every other character. And so I end up with the string BSO and then a space at the end. So I start at 0, then I add 2, that's my stride length, then I add 2 more, then I add 2 more. And those are the characters that I get. Okay, here's another example of that. Here I'm saying I want to start at 5, and you may say, why am I ending at 0? How can that be? Well, it's because my stride length is negative. So because my stride length is negative, I'm going to be starting at 5 and working my way backwards. And in this case, I'm going all the way back to, but not including, the character at position 0. Because remember, we don't include the character at the end index. And so in this case, what I end up with as my slice is the string not so, right? Because I'm starting at 5, I'm going back -1, that's my stride length, that gives me the next character, back -1, that gives me the T, back -1, that gives me the S, back -1, that gives me the O. And I stop there because if I went any further back, I would hit my end index. So that's how you do skip slicing.